Welcome back. My name is Zane. This is Altcoin Disrupt. Guys, we've made a lot of videos about a lot of different cryptocurrencies. You know, what is Stellar, what is Kin, what is Mina, what's Bitcoin SV, what's XRP. A lot of videos just on the subject of what are these cryptocurrencies, and I've made a lot. But today I wanted to talk specifically about forks. What is a fork? What is this thing that we all are obsessed with? Why did Bitcoin Cash break apart from the main net of Bitcoin itself? Because the general consensus is that it was a split decision. The blockchain nodes had a disagreement, therefore it split in two. Now, a lot of new cryptocurrencies are actually trying to avoid this problem. Therefore, there won't be any forks of these newer cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of them trying to tackle this problem. But Bitcoin Cash was one of the most popular ones that broke apart from Bitcoin with a very different philosophy of what they're trying to accomplish. So that's mostly what I want to understand today. What I want to tell you guys about is what is a fork? Why does forks keep on popping up all over the internet, from new cryptocurrencies to old cryptocurrencies? So let's just kick it off. Like I said, one of the most popular forks is Bitcoin Cash, but there's so many Bitcoins out there. There's Bitcoin Diamond. There's so many Bitcoins out there. It's just unreal. And those are just forks. Some are claiming to be the original Bitcoin because they say, well, the current Bitcoin isn't the current vision of Satoshi Nakamoto, but it's a very heated discussion. It can get really heated easily. But this video is just about forks. So a fork is a simple update to the blockchain. There are two types of forks: soft forks being backwards compatible, and hard forks, which are, in case of hard forks, a new blockchain with the same transaction history is created. So if a hard fork is not agreed upon, it could lead to a creation of a new cryptocurrency. So let me explain that again, because it can be a little bit tricky to understand. So there are two types of fork: soft fork being the backwards compatible, and hard fork, which are not backwards compatible. So in the case of hard fork, a new blockchain with the same transaction history is created. That's what happened with Bitcoin Cash. It was the same block. It was a new blockchain with the same Bitcoin history, but a new name. And that was a hard fork. So if a hard fork is not agreed upon, it could lead to a creation of a new cryptocurrency. And that's exactly what happened with Bitcoin Cash. It led to a decision of a new cryptocurrency, which led to Bitcoin Cash, splitting apart from Bitcoin itself. So cryptocurrencies use blockchain technology as a public ledger for all transaction in its history. Now, while this cannot be altered, the rules which specify blockchain operates by can be extended. So these updates, known as forks, can play an important role for moving forward. Let's just get an understanding. So fork explain. So most information technology, blockchain, can receive certain updates. These updates referred to as forks. They're similar to how you need to update some computers programs at times. That's fair to understand, because we all get updates to our smartphones all the time, to our televisions, to our tablets and computers. That's basically what it is. So this cryptocurrency equivalent, an update can rather be minor, or can be a large one with significant changes to how a cryptocurrency operates. Now, as of an example, in 2017, Bitcoin underwent a fork introducing SegWit to the network. This has since become a predominant address format used for managing Bitcoin. So forks can help cryptocurrencies provide more flexible and allow add-in patches for security, usability, scalability, and so forth. So a big difference between regular network and blockchain is that there's not just a single governing body. Instead, everyone participating in the network must agree with the purpose, with the proposed fork. So in other words, they must reach consensus. They must reach an agreement, you know? So hard and soft forks. So you might have heard the term soft fork and hard fork before. So they might appear completely the same to the untrained eye, however, they're quite different. So soft fork are quite a bit easier. These updates are backward compatible. This means that the blockchain itself does not need to change in order for these updates to take place and would have a little to no impact on the users. It's like having an update for Microsoft Word rather than needing to install a brand new version of the program. That's a good analogy. So on the contrary, hard fork can be compared to needing to install the new Microsoft Word program. Unlike soft fork, hard forks are not backwards compatible. The update of a hard fork brings conflict with the current state of blockchain. So since blockchains are immutable, this means that an entire new blockchain must be created. One that imports the same transaction history. The impact here is clearly much larger and can require quite bit of a development from wallet providers. Fortunately, as a user, you would normally be the one needing to do this. Now, guys, here's the thing to understand with a fork. Usually, when it does occur, the same amount of money you have in Bitcoin, or the same amount of coins you have in Bitcoin, should be the same amount of coins you get from Bitcoin Cash because it was a fork. You know, it's kind of like, imagine if you're in a marriage and you split apart. Well, half of the things you got, well, half of the things you have in a marriage, some of it at least, you'll get some of that stuff back. It's kind of what it is. It's a divorce. And if you held Bitcoin, well, you should get some from the divorce of Bitcoin Cash. You should get some Bitcoin Cash in return because it's kind of like a divorce. Now, I don't know if that analogy works. I think it does. I think it's a fantastic analogy. I just came up with it, actually. I probably wasn't the first person that came up with it, but I'm going to take credit. And if you guys don't like that, subscribe because there's more to come. Now, what happens when a network splits? Great question. Great question. So in the beginning, we discussed that a successful fork must reach consensus in order to be implemented. This is especially in the case for hard fork. Since they create a new blockchain, if everyone involved in the network agrees on a fork, it means that they'll all start offering their service to a newly created blockchain. So as a user, any wallet provider will update its software to link to the newly created blockchain for you, meaning you wouldn't need to do anything. Your coins will be on a new blockchain and the old one will no longer be used as no one supports it. So this is always the case. So this isn't always the case though, as with Bitcoin. So over the case of Bitcoin's history, there's been few forks where consensus couldn't be reached. So there were parties that disagree with the fork, while a larger part was still in favor. So the best known example is a proposed Bitcoin BIP 91 fork. There was a pretty big party that decided not to support this fork, but what happened when a hard fork is not agreed upon? The network splits. Two different viable chains are created. This includes the old existing chain and the new updated chain. In the case of BIP 91 fork, the majority of the miners chose to support the network, whose chain continued to known as Bitcoin. So the other chain still had quite a lot of supporters, as well as brought a new cryptocurrency to the market, Bitcoin Cash. This means that someone who owned 2 Bitcoin before the split now owns both 2 Bitcoin and 2 Bitcoin Cash. Fantastic. It's basically what I was just trying to explain. So it's just quite fascinating. It's quite interesting. I hope you guys understood most of what I said. I think it's really interesting. And I think based on this article, I think it's just enough to explain to us all what forks are. What's a hard fork? What's a soft fork? Soft fork is small updates that don't affect the system. It doesn't affect the coin. Hard forks are where it does affect the coin, where there could lead to a split in the network and a new coin is created, or consensus can come upon agreement. So that's in a simplified version. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe, leave a like. Remember to subscribe Check out our Twitter as well if you guys want to follow us on Twitter. We're always posting on Twitter to make sure that you guys get the latest videos. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.